Look around you. You have hundreds of contacts in your phone, thousands of followers on a screen. You sit in crowded cafes, you walk through busy streets, you go to parties, you laugh, you talk. But when the door closes and the room goes dark, what do you feel? You feel it, don't you? The hollow ache in your chest, the freezing cold of isolation. You are surrounded by a sea of humanity, yet you are drowning in loneliness. Society tells us that the cure for this pain is more friends, more networking, more relationships. Keep the schedule full, never eat alone, never sit in silence. Society whispers, if you are alone, you are a loser. You are broken. You are unlovable. This is the greatest lie ever sold to the modern mind. Let us establish a fundamental truth. Loneliness and solitude are not the same thing. They are opposites. Loneliness is a state of poverty. It is the desperate hunger for someone, anyone, to fill the void inside you. It is a symptom of a mind that cannot bear its own company. But solitude is a state of wealth. It is the realization that you are already complete. It is a deliberate choice to step away from the noise of the herd to hear the voice of your own soul. We cling to the herd because of an ancient biological fear. Thousands of years ago, isolation meant death. If the tribe left you behind, the wolves would find you. So we evolved to compromise. We evolved to shrink ourselves, to hide our true thoughts, to laugh at jokes that aren't funny, to buy things we don't need, all to maintain our membership in the tribe. We are terrified of being cast out. But look at the tribe today. Look at the herd. What are they doing? They are marching in circles, staring at glowing rectangles, consuming garbage, and complaining about a life they do not have the courage to change. They are asleep. Is this the safety you are so afraid to lose? To fit into the herd, you have to cut off pieces of yourself. You have to lower your standards. You have to silence your ambition. Because the herd does not like outliers. The herd hates the wolf, but it also hates the sheep who tries to climb the mountain. It makes them feel insecure about their own stagnation. If you want to be great, if you want to be free, you must commit the ultimate act of rebellion. You must be willing to walk away. You must learn the art of walking alone. In the year 1645, a man retreated to a dark, isolated cave in Japan. His name was Miyamoto Musashi. He was the greatest samurai who ever lived, undefeated in 60 lethal duels, a master of strategy, philosophy, and the sword. As he faced the end of his life, he didn't seek the comfort of crowds. He didn't throw a feast. He sat alone in the freezing Reigondo cave and wrote a short, brutal text. He called it the Dokkodo, the way of walking alone. The Dokkodo is not a guide to making friends. It is a guide to absolute, unbreakable self-reliance. Implicit in his entire philosophy was a hard, unforgiving truth. True mastery of the sword, of the mind, of life itself, cannot be achieved in the middle of a noisy crowd. It is forged in the silent fires of isolation. Musashi wrote, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world." He understood that when you strip away the social games, the validation-seeking, and the constant need for approval, you are finally able to see reality clearly. When you are alone, there is no one to perform for. The mask must come off. You are left with nothing but the brutal truth of who you are. This is why people are terrified of solitude, because solitude is a mirror. When you strip away the distractions, you are forced to face your own demons, your own failures, and your own mediocrity. It is much easier to stay in the loud, crowded room and pretend everything is fine. But the sovereign does not hide. The Stoic and the samurai share the exact same DNA, They both understand that the path to invincibility requires you to master yourself before you can master the world. And you cannot master yourself if you are constantly infected by the thoughts, emotions, and drama of everyone around you. The journey of the sovereign begins with a single, terrifying step: the step out of the circle. When you first leave the herd, it will hurt. The cold wind of reality will hit you. The silence will deafen you. You will doubt yourself. You will look back at the warmth of the shallow conversations and the fake smiles, and your biology will scream at you to return. You will feel the phantom pain of loneliness. But if you endure the withdrawal, if you hold your ground and keep walking into the storm, the loneliness will burn away, and what will be left in its place is pure, unadulterated power. Why do you chase them? You know exactly what I am talking about. The unreturned texts, the forced conversations, the desperate attempts to keep a dying relationship alive, the constant checking of your phone, waiting for a signal that you matter to someone else. You are acting like a beggar. You are standing outside the gates of other people's lives, holding a cup, begging for crumbs of attention, approval, and affection. And from whom? From people who are just as confused, just as lost, and just as insecure as you are. It is a tragedy. You have surrendered your dignity because you are afraid of the empty chair at your table. But Epictetus, the slave who became a master of philosophy, delivered a harsh warning about the company we keep. He said, "If you mix with covered in dirt, you cannot help but get dirty yourself." Look at the people you are desperately trying to hold on to. Are they making you sharper? Are they demanding excellence from you? Or are they just companions in your distraction? Are they just partners in your complaints? When you finally make the decision to walk alone, something violent must happen. A death. The death of the parasites. Most of the people in your life right now are not there because they love your soul. They're there because of convenience. They are emotional vampires. They drain your energy, they kill your focus, and they feed on your drama. They keep you anchored to a mediocre version of yourself. To walk the path of the sovereign, you must become a gardener. And a master gardener knows one brutal truth. If a tree is going to grow tall and strong, the dead branches must be cut off. If you do not cut the dead wood, the rot will spread, and the entire tree will die. You must prune your life. You must stop reaching out to people who do not reach back. You must stop investing your sacred energy into black holes. You must let the dead branches fall. Yes, it will sound ruthless. Society will call you cold. They will say you have changed. Let them. Their opinions are just wind blowing through the branches you have already cut. You're not responsible for carrying the dead weight of other people's expectations. This brings us to the core of the Stoic fortress, a Greek concept called Autarkeia. It translates to self-sufficiency. But it does not mean living in a cabin in the woods and hunting your own food. It is an emotional self-sufficiency. It is the absolute, unshakable realization that everything you need to be happy, to be whole, and to be powerful is already inside of you. Your joy is not a hostage in someone else's pocket. Your peace does not depend on whether she texts you back. Your worth is not calculated by how many people invite you to their parties. Seneca wrote, "The wise man is content with himself. If he loses a hand through disease or war, or if some accident puts out one or both of his eyes, he will be satisfied with what is left." If the Stoic can be whole after losing a limb, why are you falling apart because you lost a fake friend? When you achieve autarkeia, a massive shift happens in your psychology. You stop running. You stop chasing. You stand completely still. And in that stillness, you become something entirely different. You cease to be a satellite orbiting around other people's lives. You become a sun. You become your own center of gravity. Think of Miyamoto Musashi again. He did not wander the countryside begging warlords to like him. He did not seek validation from other samurai. He perfected his art in the shadows. He sharpened his blade in the silence. He built a spirit so dense, so heavy with discipline and truth, that the world had to come to him. This is the paradox of walking alone. When you stop chasing people, you stop repelling them. Desperation has a scent, and it drives people away. It tells them you have no value. But sovereignty? Autonomy? That is magnetic. When people see a man who is perfectly comfortable in his own silence, a man who does not need their laughter to feel funny, a man who does not need their praise to feel proud, they are intimidated, and they are captivated. They will wonder what secret you have discovered. They will want to be near your fire. But here is the beautiful part. By the time they come to you, you will no longer need them. You will welcome them if they bring value. You will share your fire if they are worthy. But if they leave, the fire does not go out. You do not freeze. You remain exactly as you were, unbroken, complete. This is what it means to be emotionally bulletproof. You enjoy the company of others, but you do not require it for your survival. You choose your relationships. You do not need them. But to reach this level of invincibility, you must pass the final test. You must face the monster that lives inside the empty room. You must face yourself. So, you have cut the dead branches. You have stopped chasing the herd. You have locked the door. Now it is just you and the silence. This is the exact moment where most men break. Because when the noise of the world finally stops, you are introduced to the monster. And the monster is your own mind. In the silence, your insecurities become loud. Your regrets echo. The voice in your head that says, "You are a failure. You are wasting your life. You will die alone." That voice no longer has any competition. When you were in the herd, the gossip and the screens drowned out this voice, but in solitude, the monster sits right across from you at the table. What do? The weak man panics. He picks up the phone. He turns on the noise. He runs back to the herd, begging to be let back in, just to escape the monster. He chooses the misery of the crowd over the terror of his own company. But the Stoic? The sovereign? He does not run. He looks the monster in the eye. Marcus Aurelius, despite ruling the known world, spent hours alone with his journals. He wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. But to make it a retreat, you must first fight the war to clean the room. You must sit in the fire of your own anxiety. You must let the loneliness burn you. Do not move. Let it hurt. Let it ache. Let the silence crush you. And as you sit there, observing the pain instead of running from it, something miraculous happens. The monster starts to shrink. You realize that the voice in your head is just a phantom. It has no physical power over you. It was only feeding on your fear. And because you are no longer running, it starves. This is the forge. This is where the cheap glass of your dependency shatters and the iron of your character is cast. When you survive the fire of solitude, you undergo a metamorphosis. You stop being a sheep, terrified of losing the flock. You become the wolf. The lone wolf is not lonely. He is lethal. He is focused. He is free. He does not need the warmth of the pack because he has his own fire. He moves through the forest on his own terms. He hunts what he wants to hunt. He sleeps when he wants to sleep. Musashi did not walk the path of the Dokkodo because he hated humanity. He walked alone because he loved greatness more than he loved comfort. He understood a brutal law of nature. The base of the mountain is always crowded. There are millions of people at the bottom, bumping into each other, complaining about the cold, and waiting for someone to build an elevator. But look up. Look at the peak. The air is thin up there. The wind is violent, and there is no crowd. The peak is too small for a herd. There is only room for the sovereign. To reach the top, you must drop the excess baggage. And the heaviest baggage you are carrying right now is your need for other people. When you master the art of walking alone, your entire reality changes. You are no longer isolated. You are insulated. When you walk into a room, you do not need anyone's permission to take up space. You do not need them to agree with you. You do not need them to understand you. If they join you on your path, excellent. You will walk together for a while. If they leave, excellent. You will walk alone. Your pace does not change. Your destination does not change. You are the author, the director, and the main character of your existence. So, here is your final challenge. Stop looking for a savior. Stop waiting for the right group of friends to make you feel complete. They are not coming. And even if they did, they could not fix the hole inside of you. Only you can do that. Embrace the isolation. Take a week, a month, a year. Step away from the noise. Dive into the deep waters of your own mind. Read, train, build, think. Face the monster. Defeat it. It will be a lonely road. There will be no applause. There will be no one to tell you that you are doing a good job. But at the end of that road, you will find the greatest prize in the universe. You will find yourself. Unbreakable, untamable, unapologetic. The path is open. The mountain is waiting. Walk alone, and walk like a king. This is core wisdom. If you have the courage to walk this path, subscribe, leave the herd behind, and I will see you at the top.